Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Duncan. I'm a travel advisor specializing in Disney destinations and Universal Studios theme parks. And I like to travel. I like to bring you all of the tips and tricks and things to do. But when I'm not traveling, I like to give you some information that is good for your next trip. And today we are going to talk about something that I think is super important and that I am passionate about as a travel agent. And that is Google versus a travel agent and why you should hire a travel agent if you are thinking about taking one of these trips. When I say Disney destinations, I am talking about the US Disney parks, the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando and the Disneyland Resort in California, as well as the Disney Cruise Line. Now, the Disney Cruise Line sails out of multiple ports and a couple in Florida, but for my Texas friends, during the winter, sometimes fall, spring time, they sail out of Galveston, Texas. And then, of course, Universal Studios theme parks. I'm talking about the Universal Orlando Resort in Florida and then Universal Studios Hollywood. These are popular destinations for all types of travel parties to go to, and the planning process can be extensive with a lot of research to have a great trip. So when people do research, a lot of times they head on over to Google, and Google is a great resource. I use it myself as well. But of course, Google is going to give you an overall generic answer. I do love the AI overview that it gives now, but it will not give you an answer that is specific to your trip or tailored to your trip, or that's going to come from the perspective of a travel agent like myself who has had firsthand experience. So what I did today is I picked the top 3 questions that I get asked as a travel agent. I put them into Google, and I'm going to tell you what Google says versus what I would say if I was planning your trip. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you could see all of the amazing tips, tricks, and adventures coming up. And let's get started with Google versus a travel agent. The first question that I get all the time, this is especially for the theme parks, is when is the best time to go? This is such a relative question because everyone's best time can mean something different. It could mean I want the lowest price, or I want the lowest crowds, or I want the best weather, which is really hard to plan anyway. But I'm going to tell you what Google said. This is an AI overview. According to most travel experts, the best time to visit Walt Disney World is typically between late August and early September, as crowds are usually smaller during this period, often considered the off-peak season with potentially lower prices as well. However, be aware that October can be increasingly busy due to Halloween events at Disney World. So if you were looking for a generic answer, this is great. Late August and early September. Early September is actually a time that I love to visit the Disney parks and even Universal because I love Halloween. I love spooky season and the pumpkins and pumpkin flavored snacks, but this is not the answer that I would give to every client that reaches out. If a client reaches out to me and asks me what is the best time to travel, I ask them some follow-up questions. I ask them what is important to you on your trip. Is it to get the best price? Is it low crowds? Is it to travel when the kids don't have to miss too much of school? First, we narrow that down, and then we also talk about any special events. Maybe there's a festival that they have been wanting to try, or traveling during the holidays to see the holiday decorations. Those are some things to think about too. Another popular time that is maybe considered off season is January, February. And what people don't know about January, February is these months are popular for Run Disney events as well as some cheer competitions. So Run Disney events bring a lot of people to the Walt Disney World Resort, and it can be crowded in the resorts and the parks, as well as cheer competitions. So those are things to look for as well. For me as a travel agent, I ask all of these follow-up questions and then give an answer based on what their priorities are and what they want to accomplish. I help them narrow down the best time to travel and then look at the best prices, of course, for them during that time. The second question that I get a lot is, what is the best resort to stay? Again, a relative question. What is best resort to you? Do you want amenities? Do you want over the top Disney theming? Multiple modes of transportation? Maybe you want a quiet resort. But this is what Google had to say. This gave me top rated resorts based on Google and their prices. So the top rated, the three that it gave me were Walt Disney World Dolphin Resort, Disney's Coronado Springs, and Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. So the pricing on these is ranging from $194 per night to $889 per night. So two things about this Google search. First, these three resorts, they're all great resorts. I have stayed at Disney's Coronado Springs and Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. I love them both for different reasons. Are they the right fit for every family? No, they're not. Second thing is this price range, $194 per night to $889 per night. That is a huge price range. I can understand if somebody Googled this, saw this price, and automatically said, I'm overwhelmed. This seems like it's going to be way too expensive. If this is just the hotel, I can't do this anymore. And I think a lot of people have that sticker shock when they Google and see some of these sample pricing and then just give up altogether. If a client came to me and asks, what is the best resort? Again, the follow-up questions, I would ask them, what are some amenities that you would like to have? Are you looking for a more quiet resort, more spread out? Are you looking for interior or exterior entry, multiple modes of transportation? Are there characters that you or your family like or like theming? I think those are all really important questions to ask, because what is great at one resort may not be great for another family at a different resort. I have stayed in value, moderate, and deluxe resorts. I love them all for different reasons. One of my favorite resorts is Disney's Art of Animation Resort. It is a value resort, but it is over the top theming. They have a Lion King section, a Cars section, Finding Nemo, and The Little Mermaid. They also have family suites available, so these are perfect for larger families that may need some extra space. And while I love spending time at Disney's Art of Animation Resort, when I stayed at the Grand Floridian, I felt like the fanciest person. The amenities were great. We spent time in the pool. It was nice and quiet, and I loved it, but for different reasons. And so I would get to know the family a little bit more and make recommendations based on their family and what they wanted to do. Here's the third question. This is a question that I get asked quite often. What are some must-do attractions at Disney World? This is another AI overview from Google. Some must-do attractions and shows at Disney World include It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean in Magic Kingdom, Soarin' Over the World and Test Track in Epcot, Star Tours and Rock and Roller Coaster in Hollywood Studios, Avatar Flight of Passage and Kilimanjaro Safaris in Animal Kingdom, and nighttime spectaculars like Fantasmic and Harmonious. The first big red flag, Harmonious isn't the nighttime show at Epcot anymore. So that is incorrect information. One of the things that you think of when you are planning a Disney trip is fireworks over the castle at night. While I love Fantasmic, it's not giving you fireworks at the castle at nighttime. And why that is not included on this list, I don't know. But if we look at the other attractions, Soarin' Over the World, Test Track, Star Tours, Rock and Roller Coaster, Flight of Passage. These are all attractions that are very popular attractions, but they are also thrilling and could be scary for smaller kids. It's a Small World, yes, great for small kids. Kilimanjaro Safari, also great for small kids, but they only gave us 2 here. So when a client asks me, what are some must-do attractions or shows, I make sure that I know about the family. I also know if there are any mobility needs with the family and give them recommendations based on that. I also like to ask about favorite characters when it comes to recommending shows. So this one actually had incorrect information because Harmonious is not one of the nighttime shows anymore. But this is just a small example of 3 questions where Google may be giving you wrong information and not tailored information to your trip. So many people think that booking a Disney trip online is something easy and that you can do by yourself, and it absolutely is. But when it comes to the planning portion of it and making sure that you have the trip that you are dreaming about, that you are paying for, because let's face it, it's not cheap. This is where I would say to look into hiring a travel agent that can help you narrow down these recommendations, who can give you specific and tailored recommendations based on your family that aren't generic that Google is going to give you. If you have any other questions for me or want me to do this again on Google versus a travel agent for a question, put them in the comments, because this exercise has been eye-opening to me, which is like, I absolutely love it. These questions are questions that I personally don't Google anymore because I am a travel agent. I know the trips that I like to take. And so I don't Google these simple questions anymore, but I would love to do this again. So drop them in the comments so that I can answer them for you and see what Google has to say. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button because I am going on some amazing adventures in the next couple of months and I don't want you to miss them. One is going to be super special and I can't wait to announce it in the next couple of weeks. And then make sure you follow me on my socials. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Friend Like Duncan. I hope you learned something new today. If you're interested in looking into your own trip to one of the Disney or Universal parks, send me an email, duncan@friendlikemetravel.com. I would love to chat with you about it. And until next time, thanks for joining your friend Duncan, and I'll see you real soon.